Moneyality. Moneyality. With the Moneyalogist, Miss Tanya Collins.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, everyone. Good evening and happy Black History Month. We are Black History and I am Black History. My name is Tanya Collins. I am the Miss Moneyalogist. I am the founder and CEO of Moneyality, the ace of finance. We activate, we circulate, and we elevate all your money personalities to make you have a successful financial life. So I am excited tonight to come on. I want you to look at the ticker below and follow me on YouTube and like and subscribe. My YouTube channel is at the THE Miss MS Moneyalogist, Moneyalogist. So tonight I am excited. I have not been on for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to come back during Black History Month and just be awakening to the idea of what is moneyality and what is our topic tonight. So tonight I kept on thinking, what do I want to talk about? Moneyality is understanding your money personality. And I am focused on making sure children get exposed to moneyality at a very early age. So my goal is to launch in high schools and then go down to middle schools and to elementary schools, because most states now are getting mandated to teach financial literacy. And I know I'm in Tennessee, and Tennessee already has that, where they have to have at least one semester of financial literacy. But I have found that a lot of students are leaving school still clueless of what's really going on. So tonight, my topic is, when do you have the talk? And I'm not talking about the talk about the birds and the bees. I'm talking about, when do parents have the conversation about money with their children? And I remember, as I have been reading articles on, like, when do we start? I started at 5. My mom did not have the conversation with me, but I started by wanting snowballs at 5 years old. And I remember that I needed 35 cents to purchase them. So I remember learning what was a quarter and a dime and how much that was to buy these snow cones, or snowballs is what we call them in the South. So I learned that I could get 2 nickels and a quarter, and that made 35 cents. I have done all kind of ways as a child trying to figure out counting pennies. And I started with coins, learning how to count money. And that was around 5 years old. So I know that children can start understanding money at early ages. Research says even at the age of 3, you can start exposing it to them. And I support that 100%. In my course of Moneyality, Moneyality is a course that I have founded that teaches children about their money personality, how to manage their money, and how to live real successful, healthy financial lives as they become adults. And so the topic tonight, wondering, when have you had the talk and what age do you have the talk? That is so important. It has been said that, is it child abuse when parents are not preparing their children for financial success? Now, do I think it's child abuse? No. But do I think it's important for parents to have these conversations? I do. I think it is up at the top, just like the birds and the bees, like understanding finances. As we go through tonight, I'm going to tell you all these different ways of strategies of how you can start having the conversations with your children. So I know that for me, I started, like I said, at 5 years old. And my personality is that I'm a saver. And in my course, we call those savers keepers. So there are 5 moneyality types. There are keepers who are savers. There are splurgers who are circulators. They circulate excessively. And then we have trackers who plan for the future. They are future security people. They love having security, so they plan for their future. There are adventurers who are kind of risky. They are thrill seekers, so they kind of go back and forth on dealing with money. They always say that an adventurer is a person that has a vision, and they're either going to be billionaires or they're going to be broke. They are going to take a chance. And then there are the minglers, and minglers are the social students where their biggest focus is that money really doesn't matter. They don't really care a lot about money. And some of you all probably have children with these different personality types. And you have to think about what is your personality type. And you can be one of those 5 as well. And I have had my mom on the show before, and my mom was a keeper and a splurger. And financial personalities are told to be born. We're told that we're born with them, like they are innate as part of our financial DNA, is what I like to call it. So my financial DNA that I got from my mom was the keeper part of who she was. And so I feel like, wow, I take that from my mom. And then my mom also was a splurger. And my sister, when she was on the show, she was a splurger. So I was thinking, wow, she took that part of my mom's financial DNA and became a splurger. So we're opposites, really. I am a fanatic saver, and my sister says she likes to live her life, and she is a splurger. So you can see that 2 people born by the same mother, living in the same house, grew up together, have these different personalities. And so is that something we need to deal with? It is, because so many times we want to try to influence our children based on how we think about money. Or if you don't even know really what you feel about money, a lot of people just say, hey, just save your money, just invest. And when you're talking to a mingler is not even interested in hearing that. Minglers, I just told you, are people that are not interested in understanding anything about money. They just feel like they are just carefree. That's not their thing. They're really big relationship people. They love building relationships. So when you think about your children in your house, you think about, I need to have this conversation with them. But if you're thinking, I don't really know what my moneyality type is, then I am going to be able to help you. And I'm going to be able to help your child through my moneyality course. So as we go through it, moneyality in the course is going to be able to enlighten you, because if you are a splurger, like I said, my mom was a keeper and a splurger, and you have a child that doesn't care anything about money, then you're probably like, wow, sometimes we want to project how we feel about money onto our children. And that's not really a fair way to do it, because making sure that you are really good at finances is where we want to start. But also from there, we want to make sure that we're dealing with these students where they are, how they feel and think about money. And from there, you're able to say, hey, like if I am a keeper and I am with my nieces and nephews and I know that they are splurgers, and every time I go in the store, they are wanting something. Splurgers are interested in that instant gratification. So they're constantly walking through the store, and it's not what they want. They just want something. It could be a bubble gum, and they're going to be excited, because splurger children are just excited to get some instant gratification. But we have to learn to talk to them. So I'm going to talk about all 5 of them and how they are enacted inside of a child's mind as far as how they think and feel. So we're going to start with splurger children. Children that are splurgers, like I said, are extreme circulators. When I say circulators, in Moneyality, we don't spend money, we circulate money. And so as part of understanding how to circulate money, you want children to be able to feel okay that they like instant gratification, but you would need to also teach them that it's okay to have instant gratification. But at some points, as they are growing older, you have to tell them, okay, let's have a conversation that when we go into the store, I am not going to be able to get you something. But what is going to happen is that when we get home, I'm going to let you play with your toys, or I'm going to let you help me with dinner. So they get some gratification in knowing that they have something to look forward to when they get home. So it's not, like I said, for a splurger child, even from 5 years old and up, splurger children are definitely seeking instant gratification. And how do you say no for instant gratification? It's just start talking to them about how money works and the purposes of how you want to explain money as a tool. And money as a tool is where you are able to use this tool in different circumstances. So for a splurger child, if you are a parent and you don't have much money, you would tell them, I don't have much money. And having these conversations is something we should have, not in a boastful way or something threatening, where I know we hear a lot of parents that say, hey, when I go in this store, don't ask for nothing, don't touch nothing, all of that. We've heard all of those stories, but that is a cool way to kind of get them not to ask. But most splurger children are still going to push you. They're going to push the envelope. They're going to still say something. As hard as you may stress that to them, they are going to still say, well, mama or dad, can I get a piece of gum? Can I just get anything, just a small thing? They want something from it. So splurger children, I'm telling you to just kind of start talking to them earlier, explaining that instant gratification is not always something they're going to be able to get, and that they may need to start pacing themselves, and give them some options that the next time we go to the store, you will be able to do something different. But you can start having them to save and talk to them about what is the importance of saving. So they'll have some familiarity, not just telling them, don't do it and don't ask me. It's not a really fair way to deal with them. And that's really not a fair way to deal with any of the 5 personalities. And so we're going to go to a keeper child. A keeper child is going to be in a store with you, and they may even have money, and you know they have money. But as a keeper child myself, our money is not money that we're trying to circulate. We're trying to keep it for as long as we can. We're very comfortable with seeing our money. Even if we have a piggy bank, we like to know that it's there. And so sometimes you are parents, you'll say, hey, you need to spend your own money. But in a child's mind, as a keeper, they already may be saving for a bicycle, or they may be saving for some of their favorite things. So that conversation needs to happen. You need to be able to say, hey, I see that you have saved X amount of dollars. What are your plans for that? And allow them to start talking to you and say, hey, well, I'm saving for a bicycle. Or start asking them, that it's okay to be able to buy something for yourself. Because keeper children are not that instant gratification. They are delayed gratification, sometimes to a fault, where they will not buy something for themselves. And I know how that is, how I have saved and not use my money because I just wanted it there. And they come off, sometimes you may say, oh, this child is stingy, they don't want to share. But it's not. That's the conversation you have to start noticing and thinking, well, why is my child not wanting to use their money? It's because a keeper's mindset is that they want to be able to see it. They like the idea of his having it. They are collectors of things. Keeper children may collect coins. They may collect butterflies. They like collecting things, and having money is part of their collection of having access to it. So that's important to be able to have that conversation and let them know that it is okay to use some of the money that they save on themselves, or especially to even buy a gift for someone. So that is the keeper. So we've talked about the splurger, who is the excessive circulator. Those are the ones that like to purchase things and like to get instant gratification. Now we have the keepers, who are the fanatic savers. And so next we go to the adventurers. I am an adventurous person. I was an adventurous child. Some different things that you can notice in your adventurous child is that they are like the wild child. They like to do all these extraordinary things. They may come home and have broken arms because they have jumped off the house. Those adventurous children are visionaries. They like adventure. They like taking risks. So I was an adventurer. So my personalities are, I was a keeper and I am an adventurer. So I remember as a child, something that was so unique to me is that I wanted a unicycle. I think I might have been 8 or 9, maybe 9 or 10. I wanted a unicycle. Now, I lived in a small town in Mississippi. Nobody had a unicycle, and my mom got me one. I think I rode that thing maybe once or twice, and then it was over. But it was just the thrill of it, of having something different, having something unique. So be mindful of your children that are adventurous. Sometimes they may get into something. They may say, hey, I want to play football, and then next 2 weeks they may say, no, I changed my mind, I want to do basketball. So you have to kind of ground them. You have to tell them, no, you need to be focused on one thing, and let them know that it's okay to be like a person that has lots of talents, but when you are using your money to pay for these talents, you have to tell them that that's not a sport that you're going to be able to do. You're going to have to kind of stick with it. And just again, having conversations. That's what we're talking about tonight. How to have these conversations with these children. Start early. You can start seeing these characteristics that I'm explaining really early in these children's lives. So what else would I like to say about that? Also, we have the splurger, the keeper, the adventurer. The tracker is a security saver. Those are the children that like to plan things. That these are your children that probably know their class schedule before school starts. These are your children that can plan their routes for Halloween candy, for they know where they want to go. They are constantly worried, thinking about that plan A. And so for these children, you have to really be mindful of making sure that they know that planning for the future is great, and having a plan A and a plan B, but also that you can remove yourself and say, yeah, again, kind of like the keeper, you can do things in the present. Enjoy life in the present. And those are conversations you have to talk to them about. It's just enjoying some of the moments, just being present and not being isolated because you don't want to be bothered most of the time. Sometimes trackers are maybe introverts. They do not like to be around people. They are very conservative. So check out how your child responds to different things. And the last one is the Mingler child. The Mingler child is a child that has no clue about the context of money. These are the children that are not caring about money. They love hanging out with their friends. They are the ones that sometimes people could take advantage of, because if they have money, you have money. And if they're going to the movie and you're their friend, you are going into the movie with them. If they have it, you got it. And that is a beautiful thing. I love that a part of them. However, it can be an issue where they're taken advantage of. And you want to always kind of protect your children from that. So you tell them that they are one of the ones that you have to put more emphasis on, making sure they understand how money is a tool for things, because they say they don't care about money, but you have to inform them that the world goes around with having money. So even to have food, you have to have money. When you go to your jobs, you expect to get a check. So that check turns into money where you are able to afford things, your house, and if they want an apartment. So they have to be in a place where they understand that having money as a tool is important, like for those basic needs. Other than that, if they are wanting to be a little carefree, maybe that'd be okay. But be mindful that they could easily be taken advantage of. So you want to make sure that they know that it's okay to say no, and that if they have money and their friend doesn't have money, or sometimes you just may have to give them enough money just for their movie ticket or enough money just for them to get in the game. And therefore, you kind of eliminate them paying for their friends and their cousins and everybody else. It's kind of like Erica Badu, when she says Tyrone, she's playing for his friends and all of that. I was like, wow, girl, you must have been a mingler. You paying for too many people's things. So I don't think that is the most advantageous thing. Be very careful about that part. So those are the 5 moneyality types. And so having these conversations with children helps them to be prepared for the future. And my course, Moneyality, activate your mind, circulate your money, and elevate your movement, is preparing children to be healthy, responsible adults. It is a course that is going to be on my website, and it is still being created right now, but I'm excited about it. We are doing great things. We want to have it very interactive. So right now, I'm just sharing these tidbits but I'm going to be so excited to announce when Moneyality is ready. What I do have ready now is a Moneyality assessment for adults. So I am going to have that coming out on my website, and you could go on my website at moneyality.com and you'll be able to take that assessment. But we are going to ask for you to contribute for that assessment, because we're trying to be able to have any child that wants to take Moneyality, if they're not able to take it in school, to be able to afford it. So we ask that you contribute for that Moneyality assessment, and that's going to be on my website, and I will be doing an announcement when we are ready to launch the website. So other things that I want us to talk about is, what are the milestones? What are the ages that we need to start preparing these children? And at what age and what stage of their lives are we ready to get them started? So the first thing I would say is having a bank account. Like, when is the first time to open their first bank account? Well, that could be at any age. I opened my first bank account with a Christmas Club account. My mom had told me that she had a Christmas Club where she was putting money in it, I guess, to purchase our toys. So I thought, wow, I wanted me a Christmas Club account. So I was very young when she started me with that Christmas Club account. And I'm telling you, I kept that account all the way through high school. When I got a job, I think I probably ended up going to getting a savings account or a checking account. But yes, I started at an early age. So starting some kind of account for them can be started at any age, preferably when they can understand that they have it. And because there are so many new things on the market, as far as you can get them cards that have money that parents and grandparents can load on their cards, just being able to have access to that, that's something I didn't have as a child. So just being mindful of how often they're swiping that, and being attentive to making sure they're tracking what they're circulating that money for. So that's the next one. And so at the next age is, when do you give them an allowance? And I grew up in a home in Mississippi, and we didn't get a weekly allowance. I mean, I grew up in the projects as a child that probably was like not even thinking about an allowance. I knew I would get money for birthdays maybe, but sometimes a lot of kids get money for their grades if they get A's and all that. Those are good ways to get children started. But at the age of like 5 and 6, it's okay to start getting them started with an allowance. If it's $5, kids are very advanced now. So $5 is probably like, wow, that's a big thing to a 5 and 6 year old. So starting them with a weekly allowance or by every pay period, whatever, giving them something so they can feel good about it in their Moneyality, with their Moneyality personalities, you will then be able to understand. You'll see who saves it, who wants to instantly spend it. So just be mindful of that. But it's okay at 5 and 6 to start giving them money to use for themselves. Okay. And the next thing is, what what age do you start introducing them to the family budget planning? They say 8 years old because kids at 8 years old, they understand if you are going to be able to tell them, oh, I'm not, we're having a family meeting, or I don't have this kind of extra money for all of this. But talking to them about a budget and that you have these expenses to pay is very important. So start having conversations with them at 8 about what is a family budget and what can the family afford, and is the family going on a holiday? Are they going on a summer vacation? Start at that age. And if you have a planner child, a child that's a tracker, you can start letting that child start planning your things because they love the plan. So they can plan your vacations, they can plan your trips to anywhere you want to go, just across town. Just ask them, how do I get there? And they will plan it out for you. And they are very good at that. And that makes them feel involved as part of the family. So the next thing is getting a summer job. I got a job at 14. I remember getting that small income from that job. It was a summer job. And I totally remember as a keeper saving that money. So at 14, you can start looking and preparing them to go out and get jobs, making sure they understand the taxes that may be taken out. But they also can work for you. If you have a business at home or you have a business outside of your home, if you start paying your children, you could actually have them as a tax write-off. If you pay them up to $6,000, you could write that off as an expense for them working for you. So that will help you with your taxes. So that's just a tidbit you can take from there. And next is having them to have their first credit card. So opening that first credit card, I did not do until I was in college. I had no clue about when I would start a credit card. But when I got it, I was very great with that credit card. I kept my credit card that I got as a freshman like for 20, 30 years. It was with Citibank, and I had that Citibank credit card for about 30 years, coming from college all the way up. So that may be telling my age. I don't even mind. I am 53. And so starting at college at like 18, I started that Citibank account. I remember going into our student union and they were down there saying, hey, fill out this if you want a credit card. I did it, got it. And I was very mindful with using it. I definitely did not splurge because I was a keeper child. But starting at 16 and 18, between 16 and 18 now, because children are so much more advanced, there are definitely credit cards that you could get them, but you could also get the cards where they have basic limits and you can set the limits, or you can get them with cards that are in your name where you can turn them off and have it where they can't use them. So we have those technologies that you can use right at your fingertips on your account. Just go cut it off and they won't have access to it. So because we're living in a new age, having a card between 16 and 18 can be a responsible thing. They can definitely take care of that. So is that all of them? I think we are definitely wrapping it up, but I do want you to always be mindful of how you talk to your children, and starting early to talk to your children about money is just as important, as I told you, as talking about the birds and the bees. I mean, they are parallel if they are not anything else of the two topics. Those are the highest two topics I would recommend somebody talk to their children about. So before we close, I'm going to have my sponsors for the night. We have Joy Media Group. Joy Media Group is an awesome group where she can help you with doing broadcasting, and I have her now as my producer for my broadcast. So reach out to Joy Media Group at www.joymediagroup.net, and the number is 901-618-9501. Call, email, talk to Joy for Joy Media Group. And the next person that is sponsoring tonight is Nick Venti Design, an amazing one-stop shop for mobile apps, animation, and web design. Nick is an awesome person to talk to, and his number is 662-902-9737. So as we're wrapping up, I just want you to be mindful of having that talk with your children at an early age. But at any age, it's important to start having that conversation. And I do welcome you to follow me on YouTube at the with two E's, Miss Moneyalogist. I am on social media with the Miss Moneyalogist. All of my social media is the Miss Moneyalogist. And I will be glad you could email me at moneyalitycourse@gmail.com and just ask me to have conversations with you, or even come speak for you or your groups or any organizations. I do love having conversations to talk to organizations or groups about how to start these conversations with themselves and how to get their Moneyality assessment and know what their their personality is with money. So I have enjoyed talking to you. I'm doing a quick podcast tonight, so you can just enjoy the rest of your night. And it has been a pleasure. I am Tanya Collins, the Miss Moneyalogist. I am the founder and CEO of Moneyality, the ace of finances, where we activate, circulate, and elevate all children in financial literacy. So thank you. Have a good night. And I will be talking to you next Monday. We'll be live again. Good night.
Moneyality. 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 With the Moneyalogist, Miss Tanya Collins.